I still feel I still feel that we can still curate and control, to your point, Brian, that I don't give up on black folks
Mm.
and being able to control our, because we're not limited. I do feel that there we have another, maybe not at the level of Michael Jackson, but we're having someone as talented as Michael coming out, someone in the music industry, someone as talented in the film industry, like I feel like I am.
No,
Mm.
here's here's the
The
thing,
thing
Travis.
that
I think those
the
people
thing
are
that I
there.
Historically,
found
Yeah, you gotta
the thing
back
that I
yourself,
found
man.
myself stuck in, I had my I made America Street for 50,000, but I didn't have that was it. I didn't have any money to market it,
Market it, yeah.
yeah,
You would
and
have needed
that's
like another 100 grand just to market it, probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
I needed money to get it out there, and the little places I was, which was really surprising to me, is that the places I did go and had money to get there, they loved it. I got a lot of press off of it.
Mm.
They understood what I was going for. They understand that it was an ambitious film. It was inspired by Chaplin, the kid, and I was touching on a lot of things. So they got it. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do with it. But I'm hoping with this new project, I'm able to do that,
So do
and
you?
as well as what, to your point, how we work together. Um, my goal is to make that America Street into a series.
Mm.
Smart.
Um, the great thing about it is that, knock on wood, I have, some people at Netflix who have the power to greenlight, who are interested in it. And I'm gonna need people like yourselves to be able to help me with
Oh hell
that.
yeah, yeah. Just give
Because
us a
I
call.
mean,
Yeah,
because
definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
You're
they
welcome to
got,
borrow the robot.
huh?
Him and
Joking.
him and his robot, I swear.
I'm joking, man.
Uh,
Death
no, no.
machine.
yeah, that can be
Oh,
like an evil scientist in your next movie.
Yeah,
yeah.
if you need an evil scientist, man, that's me now.
Because right
Take
now
over the world.
we got two series that are being shot here in Charleston. We got the Pate brothers are doing the Outer Banks, and and I remember when they first started, they came out of Charleston. They did Shallow Grave,
Mm.
um, and that was their first film. But the Pate brothers, that we started at the same time, but unfortunately, that the great thing, what we were talking about earlier, is that the Pate brothers, they had access to people, family, and not just family, but people who had deep pockets to fund their
Mm.
films, and they were able to go further. And we literally started at the same time.
I'm also. Well, see, here's the thing, Travis, because I've heard of the Outer Banks. I never knew what it was. You know what I'm noticing? There's a lot of white people on there. The lead is white. I mean, it looks like a white male.
Yeah,
I got some
yeah.
black
Well,
people
I
in there.
mean, well,
I didn't know it was filmed here. That's crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
That's shot here, as well as David Gordon Green's series, with
Travis,
HBO. But I
hey,
mean,
yo, Travis, you paused for a
I mean,
second. What did you say?
huh?
You
I'm
paused for
sorry.
a second. We didn't hear what you said.
Yeah.
You said something
Oh,
about HBO.
yeah, yeah. With David Gordon Green's, the Righteous Gemstones, that with HBO being shot here. But they all live here. They're doing their thing. Um, um, but my goal is to tell our story, and I feel that using America Street, this being the for lack of a better term, our Ellis Island, for most of the African Americans that came, who were enslaved in America, came through the port of Charleston.
Hmm.
So I wanted, that's what I've been pitching to, what I pitched to them. I said, listen, we want to tell our Genesis story in our country, and not just be limited to that. Because I don't want to just tell a slave story. It's not a slave story. It's something that's gonna. I feel that is gonna speak to everything that we're doing. Just like what Charleston is so important, and not just Charleston, but South Carolina. And I want to be able to touch on what's the Forest Whitaker, the Harlem.
Oh,
Godfather of
Godfather of
Harlem.
Harlem. Yeah.
The
Oh,
Godfather of Harlem. I mean, the character he's playing.
yeah.
Yeah, the character he's playing.
Is
Yeah,
that
he's from
Bumpy
Charleston.
Knuckles?
He's from Charleston. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Bumpy is from Charleston.
Yeah.
So, and that's the reason why I mean, they try to put Dagichi and all that stuff in there, but and the new film I'm working on right now is talking about it's about the Geechee Gullah. It's a fantasy, a fable type of thing, but it's a love story, and I'm hoping that it'll touch a lot of people, and it's drenched and it's in our culture. It's about our culture, and hopefully it'll translate well, and we'll be able to get that series and be able to have a stream of revenue to hit the talented people that we have here in the city. I feel that we have I remember going to Atlanta all the time when they were starting So Death, and they did everything they were doing in the 90s, and I feel like Charleston has the same opportunity to do the same thing. Yeah, so that's the goal. I mean, so don't give up, man. Don't give up on us, man. Because I'm serious, man.
It's not something.
We're on the brink.
I don't think it's a matter of me giving up on black people. I think black people in general have given up on blackness, and I don't think it's explicit. Like, I don't think it's just a bunch of black people. Oh, screw the black community. I just think there's so many environmental pressures to push people in that direction after integration that I think that it's inevitable. You see what I'm saying? Unless the only thing I think that could save it is like hardcore militarization of the community, where you don't give people a lot of options, and that's never going to happen in this environment. It should never. I mean, the Black Panthers, they didn't do that exactly, but they were about as close to militarizing the community as you're probably going to get, and they ultimately failed. I mean,
well, it was not. No. See, and that's the misconception that people got it with the Black Panthers. No, the Black Panthers was not about military. It was all about self-defense and protecting the community.
No,
that's all about.
Well, that's military.
I mean,
uniform. They brought order.
Stuff.
They brought structure. I mean, that's what I mean. It's not like, hey, we're gonna go get these nuclear bombs and we're gonna go attack somebody.
No. I think the core of the movement, the Panther movement, was for healthcare, food, education. That was the core.
Guns.
I mean, in the 10-point plan. I mean, that was the core of the Panther movement. That's don't ask me to recite it now. But like I said, that was the core of the 10-point plan. So I mean, I feel that nowadays, I mean, I feel that I agree with what you're saying, that everything has been diluted, and everything is it's no value, or we don't have any the thing of it is that we don't have any institutions to that we can call them. We don't own anything like schools or hospitals or banks. We do own a few banks, but things that could really, like the Jewish community. The Jewish community have all of that. So that's the reason why they are able to consolidate this wealth and do what you want. But we have to build those things. We really have to build that thing.
But that's the thing, though. We built it.
We had to build those things again.
Yeah, we had it. We had it.
And then you have to convince people, even though it does not have, this grocery store does not have all the stuff as Whole Foods, it's better that you come here. And I'm going to Whole Foods. Yeah. But I don't think that we're gonna. It's people like you, Travis, will make it, right? If a good product could sell on the market, man. Period. It's still Japanese rappers rapping 90s hip hop style. They can't get away from it. They got the mumble rap too, but they kept that part. You know,
Yeah.
if you continue to do what you do in excellence, Travis, you
Yeah, I see. I agree with
individually,
that.
you
Yeah.
and the people around you
Yeah.
will have something. All of us who work in that way, that's why it's kind of like, even as a people, it's kind of being a divide. Okay, you want to stand up on the table and twerk and stuff. I can't put myself at risk for that. You know, somebody put their hands on it they shouldn't have. Okay, that's what I'm gonna fight for. But if you were twerking on the table and they snatch your ass down, okay, no. People are fighting for that type of right, and it's really distracting us from being able to move to a next level where
They're also funding the woman who will go to the black restaurant and twerk on the table, and that's kind of what to Travis's point as far as because I agree. I think Travis, you keep going, you're going to get I think what you're looking for. You personally, but
you
black people, it's over. It's a wrap, dude. Yeah. It's a wrap. It's over.
Well, I know.
In this
I
country,
still have.
I should say.
I,
Yeah.
yeah, you can call me delusional. I don't. I still have.
Bro, you're
I
delusional,
still
man. I'm telling
have a romantic. I still, or a romantic. I still believe that black people can do
yeah,
that and work
they
together.
can,
you, bro.
but
You gotta
it's
quit
the
being delusional, man.
requirement.
You gotta wake up, man.
It's kind of like we could move into the hood in New York, and black people there, that could be a great place, right? But the things that people don't do, especially in a lot of bad areas, okay, don't shoot the other black person over here. Oh, you fucking murdered them. Don't piss on the wall, you pissed on it. Don't rob somebody, you robbed them.
Yeah.
Right? So anybody that can do something to help that community, please.
Like what's his name? Was it Deion Sanders?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. They robbed him,
Well,
they ripped him off,
well, let me.
and he
Well,
left.
let me tell you this. I don't know if you heard. Okay. The they came up with the list, the top 10 the best places to live and stuff like that. Charleston. Excuse me, not Charleston, but South Carolina is 42 out of the 50 states. We're close to the bottom like always. And crime, we're in the top. And the crime, we're the top 10. Another thing is that they're about to in North Charleston. They just about to invest $2 or $3 billion in the city of North Charleston. They're going to renovate the whole place is going to look different. Okay.
Yeah, because they're gonna push all black people out.
Well, the thing of it is, I'll talk to you off camera more about that.
All right. Okay. All right.
But the thing of it is that there is funds, there is money, and we're trying to make sure that our community, gets a portion of that, so we can do what we need to do. So. Like I said, please don't give up hope on what we can
that's
do.
the thing, Travis. It's not about me giving up. Like for me personally, I want to see that future where the black community is thriving. But this is a bitter truth that I've had to accept over the last 3 or 4 years. The more I learned, and that is there is no black community. There really isn't. Communities are made up by institutions, and the foundational institution is the family. And after the 60s, once the black family kind of died and perished, it's over. Like you can't build without families. You just can't do it. You can't do it. And if another half of our so-called community is adverse to that, I just don't see any way forward. I just don't. So it's not me. Like I want to see that. I don't see that as a reality because of what I see around me. You know what I'm saying? And so I think in that sense, I think it's over. I think there's always going to be black people here. But what we call the African American community, I think a large part is going to get assimilated and a lot of us are going to die off. I mean, look, only 33% of black men are married. Only 27% of black women are married. Only like 54% of black men don't even have children. They don't even have children. So so that even with all the stuff that they push in media, like how we create a bunch of baby mamas. There's a certain segment of black men that do that, and there's a certain segment of black women that like those types of men. But for the most part, we don't even have children. You cannot have a community without families. You just can't. That's why I say it's over. Yeah, I think it's over. I think.
Yeah, I think when the larger issues show like population decline, us getting our artistic projects off the ground are subject to the larger issues. I mean,
Yeah.
like he's saying, generational wealth, us living in the same area in nice houses
We
with
could
rules.
we couldn't even come together to get reparations to get the money. At least get the money. At least get the money. We couldn't even agree on that. You know what I'm saying? We have pushback
Well,
on that. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, well, I mean, everything you just outlined, I mean, should be their own separate podcast from,
Yeah, you're right.
Re-
Here's the
relationships,
subject for next
black,
week.
yeah, black love, and reparations. Those each need to be their own separate podcast. But I agree with you. I agree with you. But the thing of it is that I still feel that um, they're they they're just not being taught. They're not being educated. They're not being educated. And I think right now, I don't know if you heard that, of the artist Sugar Otis.
Yeah, Shigeo, I listen to him all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's half white, by the way.
Yeah, his information inspiration album.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think right now a lot of us are being bombarded with a whole bunch of information, but we can't see a reflection of ourselves in that information, so we don't get inspiration from it. And I just think right now we're in this technological area where everyone's detached. They don't know how. I mean, a lot of these. There's a lot of. I mean, when I talk about black guys. There's a lot of black males, but not a lot of black men that I've come across.
Yeah.
And a lot of women. I just think a lot of the black women that nowadays they lost mystery. A woman without mystery is nothing. I
hear
mean,
you. I hear you now.
A woman has to have some sort of mystery about her. Because that's like that saying goes, once you bring it to the mind, it leaves the heart. Once you already figured it out, you no longer care for it. So I just think that right now, we got to get back to the fundamentals. But I agree with you. I totally agree with you on that aspect. But
moving on, because Orlando hasn't really had it. Yeah, go ahead.
You need to have a panel with that with you fellas with women and talk about that. And talk about how
we can,
relationship.
But we have another channel. We haven't really posted anything on there. We would have to do it. This channel, we try not to get that much into that. We're doing it now because it ties in with movies and stuff like that. So if we would have a topic just on reparations or just on black love, we would do it on that other channel. But I did want to move on to what Orlando wanted to talk about, because it is a black movie that's being directed, I think, by Michael Jai White, right? And this movie was supposed to come out like a while ago, right? He even had a.
I believe so.
He even had a Kickstarter campaign. I contributed to it. I got my little outlaw Josie Wells. No, not Josie Wells. What's the character's name?
Josie Wells.
What's the guy's character's name? For some reason, this thing ain't loading in the title. But we're about to watch the trailer. Oh, Outlaw Johnny Black.
And this is Orlando's thing?
Yeah, he wanted to talk about this because I guess they're finally about to release the movie, because
Demetrius should have been here too, man. This would have been something for him.
Yeah, I think he would have liked this. But I wanted to go ahead and move on to this because it kind of ties into what we were saying. Michael Jai White, I don't think he's like an A-list actor anymore. He's probably more on the B-list. But for years he's been trying to get funding. Well, I think when he was Spawn, played Spawn or whatever, he's at that time he was probably sought after or whatever. But for years he's been trying to get funding to finish this movie, to do this movie, to the point where he did a Kickstarter. I think he went on Tariq Nasheed's show to try to drum up some support and stuff like that. And I don't think the Kickstarter even reached its goals, even though I did get my T-shirt. But it goes to your point, Travis. I think that the hurdles I think are greater when it comes to black creatives in Hollywood, And I don't think it's something we've quite figured out, but I think it ties back to integration and us losing our institutions. You know what I'm saying? All those black exploitation films, that pretty much saved Hollywood. A black institution didn't rise out of that. A black studio that I know that I and if if a black studio did rise out of that, does it still exist? That one what's that one movie called? It was an independent movie, and I first learned about it by Charlemagne's mentor is a guy named Professor DJ Bless's dad, Professor. Um, he told me about a movie called The Spook Who Sat by the Door.
Yeah.
That was all wasn't that
Great,
all
really.
guerrilla? It was just filmed
Yeah,
guerrilla
Yeah.
style, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to watch
Yeah,
the documentary on how that was made by the guy that made it. He'll tell you about that
Yeah.
struggle.
Great,
Yeah.
great film.
Green- yeah, Greenlee is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But there's no legacy for that. Yeah, Caleb, have you ever heard of Spook Who Sat by the Door?
No,
How old are you, Caleb?
no, I'm 22.
You see what I
Caleb,
fucking mean?
what's a spook?
Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean, Travis? Do you see what I mean? Now, my parents had never heard about it. I had to hear about it from a doctor from New York, who's half white, by the way. But he had a black dad who was, even though he had a white wife, was still pretty pro-black. You know what I'm saying? And I hear from a doctor from New York. You know what I'm saying? Who moved down here to South Carolina, whose son is a DJ. I had to learn from him. We don't have institutions to pass these types of things down. It's a great movie. It's a great black movie. I didn't hear about it until I was a damn near grown man. I think I was a grown man. I was like 19, 20 years old when he told me about
I was in my 30s.
it. Uncle David was in his 30s,
I was in my 30s, for sure.
Yeah. So
Never heard of that.
That's kind of what I mean. It's like, and I know it's, and I don't want to be too harsh on black people in Hollywood because, they are clients. They're gig workers. They're trying to get money from this system. They don't have the money to set up these institutions. They don't have that type of now. Someone like Tyler Perry does, but we see the type of content he makes. You know what I'm saying? He's busy selling his studios to Hispanic people. No, I have nothing against Hispanic people, but this is my point though. It's my point is that we don't cultivate our own even when we get it, and then in the case of Deion Sanders, when he is in a place, in an institution, a black institution where he can make a difference, we got to be honest about this, guys. At the end of the day, they couldn't pay him what he was worth. They couldn't. I mean, what it really comes down to.
Somebody could, and he is all right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to. And one can make an argument, well, black men should sacrifice this. But I mean, we've done all. Black men have done so much sacrifices. I mean, people forget that thousands of black men fought in the Civil War and died to help preserve the Union.
Man, we got to play Orlando's video.
Okay,
man.
all right, yeah, let's play the. All right.
Lucent Studio.